Welcome to the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show, and I'm your host, Richard Wray. My mission is to help entrepreneurs understand AI and use it to their advantage. Join me today where we dig deep with our guest and get you the best concepts and strategies. Today's special guest is Mary Kathryn Johnson, otherwise known as MK. MK is a business and automation author and futurist. As an experienced conversational designer, mentor, and SaaS owner, she helps entrepreneurial leaders shift their mindset while increasing profits through automation. Nicknamed the Success Optometrist, she guides innovative entrepreneurs to uncover the key mindset, strategic, and tactical shifts necessary to achieve the momentum they seek. Today, we're talking about how to use AI to create true human connections and revenue. MK, welcome to the show.
Hello there, Richard. Very, very happy to be here. Thank you for hosting me.
Oh, really fantastic to have you here. As I always like to ask my guests, MK, where in the world are you?
I am in Northern California along the coast in a little town called Bodega Bay, which is about 60 miles north of San Francisco.
Very nice indeed. Okay, well, let's get into this then. So tell me a little bit about your background, because it looks like you've done so many amazing things. Where have you come from? Where's it all started? Let's give the listeners a little bit of context.
All right, let's go on a journey here. I'm a 20-year online entrepreneur. I'm an old lady. My old nickname used to be Chatbot Mom because I used to build chatbots and teach people how to build chatbots. And the majority of the people I taught and did these things for were quite a bit younger than me. So they nicknamed me the Chatbot Mom. So I started in entrepreneurship in 2003 with the first novelty maternity company online. Before that, I was a technical recruiter where I would find jobs for software developers, database engineers, and CTOs. And so I knew how to speak the language. And when I got hit by the entrepreneurial bug, I could go into that story in a second, but when I get hit by it, I went to all the guys, and they were all guys, all the guys that I got jobs for, and say, how do I do this? How do I do this new thing on this internet thing?
Yeah.
And this was in 2003. And the reason I got that bug is because with my second child, I was pregnant. I was 8 months pregnant with my second son. And at 8 months pregnant, I fell and broke both my legs.
Oh, no.
And so I had casts up to the knee on both legs. I had to go through labor, delivery, caring for my newborn, trying to take care of the house, and hobbling around with these casts. And I couldn't hobble. I couldn't hardly do anything. And basically getting through that, I finally got the last cast off when he was, I think, a little over a month old. So it basically was a 2-month process. And for a hard charging woman like me, where I did everything, that was not a fun time to just sit and do nothing and think. And so when I got through that, I said, man, if I could get through this with my sense of humor intact, I can do anything. And I started my first business 18 months later. And since then, I have been in the internet, learning new things, loving technology, talking to all these people, doing no code, chasing every squirrel possible. And now, like we're going to talk about, AI is not on the horizon and in the future. It's in your face and in your computer.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into that whole AI side. So when did you first realize that AI was, this zeitgeist that it is now?
I first realized AI was even here when I started in chatbots in 2017. And these chatbots I'm talking about are Facebook Messenger bots, which are automated conversations on automated customer service agents, things like that. I used to build those using a company called ManyChat, still do. And even then, you could build AI bots, which would you would train an AI assistant to respond to your customer service inquiries. And it took a lot of training, took a lot of missteps, a lot of incorrect responses, a lot of, I don't know the answer to that. Pick one of these boxes, right? Pick one of these buttons. And I learned about it in 2017. And since then, it has become popular now with the whole generative AI landscape, generative copywriting AI, text AI, generative image AI, and now generative video AI. I'm really intrigued by the generative video where you can actually have text to video. And there is going to be AI coming out for podcasts, for audio, where you can say in a podcast, in the world of podcasting, I want to listen to this type of podcast. Find it for me, or I want to listen to a podcast that talks about this specific subject. Find it for me, and you will be presented with a podcast specifically talking about the thing you want. Um, and you can say, repeat that. It's all verbal. You can say, repeat that last 1 minute segment for me. And the AI will automatically go back a minute and repeat it for you. So you won't have to be on a computer typing things, and you won't have to drag, or hit the 15-second button or whatever.
Mhm.
You can just speak it, and the AI will make it happen. So it's it's here. If you're worried
Yeah.
about it, I get it, but we need to get over the worry and dive in and see how we can make it better for ourselves and our world and our businesses.
I completely agree with you. I mean, one of the questions that I like to ask is obviously people do run into fear, and the media, I think, has a lot to do with that. And, various things get hyped up, and there's always oh, it's going to take our jobs, or there will be, killer robots or something like that. How do you help people get past that initial fear?
By realizing that we're all still humans,
Mhm.
and really anything we do is worth anything is based on relationships and human
Mhm.
connection. So as long as we look at this whole AI monster, if that's the way you're looking at it as a monster, I don't look at it that way. I look at it as a tool, and humans created it, humans use it, and humans still need to connect in the old-fashioned way with other humans in order to get anything done, and to further our society, and to have a meaningful life. So once I start with that and I realize the most important thing is not the AI, it's the human, it takes all fear away from me, because humans are humans, and we all have the same emotions, the same experiences, the same
Mhm.
guilt, the same sadness, the same shame, the same happiness, the same joy, the same love. We're humans, and once I bring it back to a human level, all that fear of AI goes away.
Oh, that's really great advice. So let's get into that then. The whole idea of creating true human connections. Tell us about that.
Well, I kind of prefaced it and gave it all away in that beginning part, because that's really all it matters. So, especially if we're entrepreneurs, which I'm sure many, many of us listening are. So, if we're entrepreneurs and we're trying to build a business, we're trying to sell a product, we're
Mhm.
trying to, make a widget and get as many people who need that widget to buy it. Um, we need to look at AI as how, not just as a tool to, let's just start with leads. Okay, let's just
Mhm.
take that topic, because that's what people think is their biggest issue. When you ask people, what do you need in your business most? What's the stumbling block? Where are you struggling? I don't have enough
Mhm.
leads. I don't have enough people that I can put in my pipeline, or enough people to send to my Salesforce, or enough people to see my app, or I don't have enough eyeballs. Because we've been trained to follow the social media algorithms, that's the most important thing, is a huge number of people seeing our stuff. Well, I'm going to take a step back from that and ask you to break those chains that the algorithm has basically put upon you in your mind, to think that that's the most important thing, is that you have to have a huge number of leads, because really all you can get is maybe 1% of those people, or half a percent of those people. So, um, if we build human connections and relationships, we don't have to worry about algorithms. I'll just state that. And let's say leads. There are ways that you can get automated leads. I use task bots, and they are also AI driven. And these are bots that actually perform a specific task, like finding all the suggested friends in my Facebook profile. If I go to my Facebook
Mhm.
profile and I find all the suggested friends that Facebook has for me, and I look at those suggested friends for a specific topic, and I qualify which ones actually look like a good fit for what I offer. And then I have the bot automatically send them a DM. Now, I guarantee you, I get it. Hang on. I know everybody's gotten those DMs. Okay. I'm not talking about those DMs, the ones that are just, hey, I've got this new thing I'd love for you to see. You look like a perfect fit. Oh, I'd love for you to try my. No, I'm not talking about those DMs. Please don't send those DMs. We all delete those DMs or don't look at them. I'm talking about a human connection DM that my task bot, AI task bot, can send on my behalf. And it goes like this. Hey, we have some mutual friends in common. I'm sure you have enough friends, but I thought I'd reach out anyway because I'm compelled based on what I've seen of your content, and I'd love to connect. In the meantime, I'll
Mhm.
keep stalking your stuff and loving every minute of it. That's a human connection. That's not a, I'm selling you something. And then when they
Yeah.
respond, then I take it further.
No, I completely agree with that overall approach. In fact, it's very similar to an approach I've used in the past, which has been very successful for me. So I completely support what you're talking about there. So how do you get away though from the mindset that people have of, we've got to have huge amounts of connections. We've got to be, basically carpet bombing people with requests because, we have a generational challenges where, as you say, people have been conditioned that they're going to be insta famous or they need to have this many likes, etc. And then they transfer that into the business world, and it doesn't create true connections, as you say.
No, it doesn't. So I would respond with that with two things. Number
Mhm.
one, do you like it? That's really the number one. Do you like it when people spam you with those things? Do you like it when
Mhm.
people just try and get you to like your stuff and do clickbait and all those things? Do you like it? No, we don't like it. So if you don't like it, don't do it. There's number one. Number two, um, which would you prefer? A huge list of people who really don't care about what you talk about, or a small targeted list of white hot lovers of what you have to say. Now, if you're like me, you want the second. You want the latter of those two things.
Mhm.
You, because I could guarantee you, you make more money from a small list of white hot lovers of what you have to say and sell. So, if you're going to come from that premise, if you're going to keep trying to just get your list huge and the people really don't know who you are or what you really are about and what you have that really is good for them, they know you and what's good for you because that's what social media really is all about. But they don't know what you have that's good for them. So you have to get them down to that smaller list. So, example, I had a list, I inherited a list, I purchased a business, inherited a list of 30, I think 32,000 email subscribers. Out of that, we're talking not even 10% would open the messages of this existing list, and not even a half of 1% would actually click through rate, right?
Mhm.
I I sent messages and basically whittled that list down to 5,000 white hot subscribers. My open rates are typically 60 to 70% on average, and my click through rates are above 10%. So
That's
that's
huge. That
nowhere.
that is actually very high. For anybody that's listening, those are incredibly successful figures.
Very high numbers. And what I went down, so which would I prefer? Do I want to, oh, everybody asked me,
Mhm.
what's your email list? Oh, I have 32,000 people on my email
Mhm.
list. That's a vanity metric, right? No, I don't care. I'd rather have those 5,000 people who really want to hear what I have to say. And even if it's clicking through to a blog post, I'm not selling anything on that post. We are connected because they know I'm going to give them something they're interested in, not just constantly try and sell them something. So now let's take that to the real world. I have the same thing. I have a website or a Substack or a Medium or a YouTube channel or whatever. If I can get those people off of those social media platforms and into my world, which is my email list, my chat bot, my I use interactive video relationships, my flow of their adventure with what I have to say. If I can get them into that, then and they're interested and they actually consume the content that I'm sharing with them and they align with it, then I know they're part of that white hot group.
So that's again, that's super interesting because so many people they just want the numbers. They want that vanity number as you describe it. And, we look at say podcasts. You and I are both podcasters, and some people say, "Oh no, well I've got to get into them. Hundreds of thousands of listeners or millions of listeners." And it's like, no, I would rather have 1,000 people that really love the show and download it every week and are really engaged. And it's about engagement, and that's clearly what you're doing. So
Yeah.
tell me though, the background you've got, so much of it seems to be the psychology of messaging. the psychology of how to make that initial communication. You're talking about, hey, yeah, we know these people, or we've got these similar experiences, and so on. What do you do to craft a good initial message? What's your approach?
This one is really easy, but it is the most scary thing for every single person I tell
Hmm.
because you have to be genuine. You have to you have to
Hmm.
you have to let you lay yourself bare. You have to actually be you. Okay? So there's so
Hmm.
many how many frameworks do we have that are available to us from every guru in the world that tells us to do these things and we're going to make $1 million. We're going to make a successful business,
Hmm.
whatever. So we follow their framework and we try and put our words into that framework. Well, that's awesome. We got frameworks, we can put our words into it, but you have to start with who am I? Why am I here? What in the heck do I want to communicate? What do I stand for? What's important to me? You said you have a mission. You want to help people understand AI. You want to take the fear away from it. You want to
Hmm.
help them to be comfortable. That's a mission. There are people who either subscribe to that or they don't. Now, I would challenge you to get even deeper and to put your opinion on that. That I think it's this, and I don't think it's that. And when we do that, then people are like, oh, he's actually taking a stand for something. And am I comfortable with that? And is it something that I can relate to and understand? That's once you do that, once you actually have that ability to actually be who you are and not care about who is listening or what they're going to say or what they're going to think. I'm telling you, the freedom to do that is incredibly liberating and at the same time extremely scary.
Yeah, it does sound as well that you're trying to evoke an emotional reaction that will create passion in the people that you are reaching out to.
I'm sorry, repeat that to me, please.
It sounds to me like you're also trying to evoke passion with an emotional response. So you're reaching out. You're talking about, you create a statement, you get personal about it, and you hopefully generate a positive emotion, or maybe not necessarily a positive emotion, but at least an emotion in the people that you're reaching out to, so they want to engage with you more.
And that's human. That's the
Yeah.
human part of it. We are, and again, I don't have a problem repelling people who don't believe the same way I do. Right.
Hmm.
So if I come and say generative AI is great, I don't use it. I don't use
Hmm.
generative AI to create content. I don't. I write all
Yeah.
my own content. So no, I don't think generative AI is good. I think it's going to basically put you in a pool of sameness.
Yes.
You're going to be the same as everyone else. So if I'm talking about accepting who I am and standing out for who I am and the previous experiences I've had, I'm not going to want to be the same. I'm not going to want to use generative AI to create my content. I'm going to want to create it myself. I use AI for other things. I use it for research. I use it for gathering data. I use it for targeting specific messages, finding out maybe how other companies in the past have marketed a particular product. Since I help launch products as a kind of a fractional CMO in that respect. And if I'm consulting with someone and trying to get them laser focused on what they need to do in their business to be able to create the success they have, but they just don't quite see it, I'm going to use AI to gather data, to do research. I'm not going to use it to create my content. That is going to repel some people, right? Because some people are
Hmm.
going to try and teach you how to use AI to create content. That's not me. And I'm going to say, please don't do that. Please be you. Please bring your previous experience. AI doesn't know all your previous experience, everything you've done in your life. You bring that to the table. Embrace that. Use it as to stand out and be different, not the same. And AI, if you use it to create your content, will make you the same as everyone else who's doing that.
And I've had feedback from other people when I've been interviewing on this podcast, that they can actually spot now when something has been written by the various, the chat GPTs and the bards of this world, because there is that generic kind of vanilla flavor to it.
Mhm.
So you're very clearly saying to me that you've got to imbue whatever you're doing with true personality, not just the AI's personality.
And this is so we're talking about human connection, using
Mm,
AI to create human connection that will further our revenue, because humans buy from humans.
mhm.
Humans do not buy from a general brand, a brand color, a brand name, a brand slogan. They don't buy from those things. If you are the owner of a company and a brand, please put your ideas, your beliefs, what you stand for, what you think is important to the personality of your brand. That's where they're going to buy from, not from the brand itself and all this great branding that you just hired somebody to do your logo and your colors and your brand kit. They're not going to buy from that. And then some catchy slogan. They're going to buy from you. Once they see the slogan and yeah, you got the clickbait going and you got that slogan that's going to catch their attention, there's got to be some substance under that they can relate to in order for them to buy from you. So yes, use the AI in that initial part to help you with the research on what your brand should be and where you should be. And if you want to use it to start that slogan or start that branding voice, but then you come in and change it and edit it based on you. If you need that as a starting point, awesome. But please don't create an AI generated piece of content and just publish it from whatever the AI did. You must put your human touch to it. Otherwise, again, you won't stand out. You'll just be the same and you'll just be vanilla. And that's not going to sell very many things.
And you'll get washed away with all the other vanilla.
That's it.
That's absolutely the way I believe as well. So can you give me an example of where you've used your approach and helped an organization and really turn them around?
So I'll give you an example of how I've used this, not necessarily to turn them around, but to help them launch. Okay, because that's more where I am. I've used my messaging, I guess my framework, if you want to give it that word, my tactics, my formula, whatever. It's just my brain, how I work. I can't. That's it. So, but I've used that approach. It's just me, just like everything else. I could give you do this, then do that, then do this. And I've done that before and it's awesome. But I don't want to do that because people then just take that and again, just follow that. And they think that's going to give them success. No, you have to put you in it. So please don't just take my stuff. So here's what I'll show you that I do. So in the messaging part, there's a company that I helped launch recently, beginning of this year. I've been working with this CEO since I think September of 2021. Mm-hmm. And she just contacted me out of the blue and she said, which I love those when they're genuine. She said, I had some kind of a contribution to some kind of blog post or something for Zapier. And she said, I saw you on Zapier and I wanted to run something by you about my company. We do this, this, and this. We do automations and I'd love your feedback. I'm like, awesome, let's chat. And through that conversation, it was very clear to me that she just was not, she thought she was a competitor or right? Better, faster, cheaper, whatever to Zapier. And after probably 15 minutes, it was very clear, nope, this is not what you do. Zapier is nothing. You can actually go onto Facebook and you can actually do lead generation on Facebook. Your product can gather leads, take all of the people from a Facebook group and put them into a data table for the human to go, this person is a really good fit for me and what I do. This person, not this person. Yes, this person. And then the bot will automatically send the friend request and a DM. That's all an automation that does that one task, going into Facebook groups to try and find the potential leads that would lead to human connections and relationships. Okay. That's what she does. That's not Zapier. Nothing to do with Zapier. She's not just connecting things. She's actually helping start human connections. So I talked to her about that and said, hey, I think this is what you're doing. You mean I can do anything on any website? I can now automate it with your process. And it's a no-code tool. So I don't have to be a developer. Are you kidding me? You mean I can do that? She said, yes, that's what you can do. I never thought of it that way. I never thought you could actually go onto Facebook and do that. But yeah, you can do that. I'm like, well, hello, why are you going after competing with Zapier, which already has a market share and is already, everybody knows who they are. Why would you want to slay that Goliath, that crazy monster? Why don't you start your own? Why don't you be the category of no-code lead generation tools? And so that's what we did. And we did the messaging around, do you want to, because she has two groups. She has no-code builders who want to build these task bots, and she has a marketplace for people who want to have that task done, completed. So I had to figure the messaging for both of those sides and know what the no-code builders want and why they would be interested and what the marketplace would want to make their money easier, money faster, time easier, all those things, so that they would subscribe at $15 a month or whatever the No Code Builder then puts their task bot on the marketplace and someone subscribes to it. So they can actually build their own SaaS products. And you don't have to go and service, like you don't have to actually use a software as a service. This is software as a subscription. It does
Mhm.
one task and people subscribe to it and it performs that task for you however many times you want it done. So that's what we did. We created a new category of no code solutions and marketplace. And through that messaging, which is your initial part of that question, I had to explain what it is we did first. The messaging had to be from that founder. And so in interviewing that founder and talking to that founder, she loves people who create things. She is a creator. She loves other people who have that creative juice that want to go, "Oh man, I've got this thing that I just want to automate, but I don't know how to do it. But let's see if this particular solution, this particular software can help me automate this thing. I want to create this." They have new use cases, new ideas. So everything we talked about is we love creators. We are creators. If you're a creator, come create with us with this no code tool. And then the thing you create, you now sell and get your own subscriptions. You're not just an affiliate for some other program. It's your program you built, and now you are the SaaS owner. That
That
is a powerful message for a person who wants that.
I was going to say, yeah, that's an incredibly powerful message. And part of what I'm hearing here is that the CEO of this company was so in the weeds of trying to just get things up and running. They hadn't realized what an amazing tool, product, service they actually had. And it needed a bit of outside visibility, a new set of eyes to look at it. And the key thing that you've said there that really jumps out at me is you and the CEO identified a tribe, the creatives, and you were selling, as I say, to that tribe of people. And that's absolutely what we were talking about earlier on with making sure you're going to the right people, not just some tidal wave of people that are never going to use your product.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's why that whole success optometrist thing, that's kind of what I'm called. I just basically put glasses and let them see 2020 based on what they say to me. So usually when we say things out loud,
Mhm.
it's basically it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, but we don't hear it when we say it in our head. But when someone asks us a question and we say it out loud, then we hear it because I put up a mirror to her and just said, "Here's what
Mhm.
you just told me. Is that what you're going to do? Is that what you can do?" And then she's like, "Well, yeah, I guess we can do that." I'm like, "I didn't come up with that out of the blue when you called me. I had to ask you a question of what you do and how does it work and what can I do with it? And you told me this. I didn't make it up." Yeah.
So you use the rarely used skill these days of listening to people.
What a concept. Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
MK, what's that one piece of advice that you think everybody should take on board if they only take one thing away from the show today?
Well, I've said it many times in many different ways. Have conversations with people, real conversations with real people. And as you just said so brilliantly, Richard, listen. Listening is not talking. If you're talking, you can't listen. So listen to what they say. A couple of the key phrases. What I hear you saying is, and then repeat it. Is this what you meant when you said XYZ? What would that mean to you? Those are just questions to bring people out, and then you can listen to what they say and then paraphrase it back. What I hear you saying is, and those are just basic relationship building tools. Those are just, you can use these tools with your partner, with your children, with your children's teacher at school, with your boss, with your coworkers, anywhere. You can just ask, what I hear you saying is, instead of just assuming what you think they mean, because you know what assume means, right? It means you make an
Yeah.
ASS out of you and me. So don't assume, ask. What I hear you saying is this. Is that what you meant?
And it's a classic communication paradigm. You are exchanging information, you're establishing to make sure that what you've understood they're saying is correct as well. So again, this is a very powerful piece of a very powerful approach, in my humble opinion.
And then you add AI to that. So you add a piece of AI to automate some of these processes, and then you get to the human. And no matter what, you're going to have to get to the human. No one builds a business without talking to anybody. At least not a successful one.
Yeah.
You can't. So you can't just build a business with AI that is sustainable, that actually makes a difference. Yeah, you can make money doing that, but if you have any goal beyond just making money, then you're not going to just build a business using AI. You're going to actually have conversations and have human to human interaction. And once you do that, I'm telling you, the power you have in your hands, the ability to communicate like that, it sets you apart because so many people are just trying to they're trying to automate everything and every part of the business process. And if you actually come in as a human and talk, right now you're going to stand out pretty well.
Fantastic. MK, where can people find you? And do you have any exciting new projects that everybody should know about?
Thank you, Richard. Yes, you can find me at callmemkj.com. That's call like CALL. No, I don't want you to call me on the phone, but that's you calling me instead of calling me Mary Kathryn. Just call me MKJ. So just call me mkj.com, and anything you need to connect with me is there. All social media platforms are, Facebook, call me MKJ, LinkedIn, call me MKJ, Instagram, call me MKJ. That's who I am. That's call me MKJ. And then, yes, I mentioned this, I think, that interactive video relationship tool. There's a tool that I'm using that I'm helping launch right now that is an interactive video relationship. So you can actually have a video flow, just like any kind of a survey or course or anything that you're going to try and get people to understand who you are and what your products are. Well, you can do that now in video, and you can put the buttons and the clickables and touchables and all that stuff right on the video overlay. The difference with this platform is we know that when people are watching videos, they drop off.
Mhm.
And, they're waiting for their kids to get out. So they're watching something, they're doing the dishes, they're doing, in the middle of their day, eating lunch, and then they drop off your video because they get distracted. Well, when they come back, they actually get to start back where they left off. They don't have to start all the way over at the beginning. And you can have people take video adventures with your content. Short. We're not talking long form. You can do long form if you want, but most people are getting used to short video interactions. And you can now tie those together into a flow or relationship that helps you build a deeper relationship, an adventure that helps you build a deeper relationship with your audience. And that, I can't find anything right now that fits better with me and what I want to do than that. And so it's called Relatable. Relatable, you can find out Relatable Waitlist. We're on waitlist right now, launching pretty soon. Relatablewaitlist.com, and you can find out more about it.
Sounds like an awesome product. Well, MK, thank you for a really intriguing conversation today. And I think we've really gotten across the whole concept of the human element is not going away. If anything, it's more important than it's ever been.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Richard.
You're welcome. Well, that's a wrap on another awesome guest episode for the Evolvepreneur AI Advantage Show. Just before you go, if you like this episode, we would be very grateful for a 5-star review. Please also consider recommending the show to a friend or two. Make sure you subscribe for future episodes at aiadvantage.show right now. Until next time, I'm Richard Wray, and if you're an entrepreneur, get the AI advantage today.